Right now on KGW News at noon, a deadly plane crash in San Diego, killing at least 2 and setting dozens of homes on fire. We have the latest. Plus, after a marathon session, Portland City Council giving preliminary approval to the city budget. But what comes next and later? Oregon Zoo's baby elephant Tula 2 about to play a big role in Portland's Rose Festival. Your news at noon starts right now. Top story this afternoon, a small plane crashed into a San Diego neighborhood this morning, killing at least 2 people on the plane. Thank you for joining us. I'm China Green. Local officials there say the plane struck 15 homes, causing multiple homes and cars to catch fire. At least 100 residents were evacuated to a nearby elementary school. Local authorities haven't released details about the plane, but FlightAware shows that the jet came from Wichita, Kansas, and was scheduled to arrive in San Diego Airport just before 4 a.m. Our sister station in San Diego talked to some homeowners after the crash.
I looked out the window and just saw fire all the way down the road. It was like a kind of a dull explosion, just like fluid going up, pretty much in flames.
As soon as I saw a police officer and he told me about there's some big incident going on, instantly, my mind went to, I have to get my family out of here.
The FAA and NTSB are leading the investigation. Now in Clark County, one person died late last night in a crash while riding an electric scooter. The sheriff's office says the person was struck by 2 cars. This happened just before 9:30 p.m. near Northwest 78th Road and 78th Street. Both drivers stayed on scene to cooperate with the investigation. The victim has not been identified at this point. In an update, a Portland jury awarded 10 victims of the 2020 Labor Day fires about $50 million. This is the latest damages trial in a nearly 5-year class action lawsuit against power company PacifiCorp. The trials follow a jury verdict in 2023, which held PacifiCorp liable for allegedly causing the fires. There have been 7 trials so far. 5 more are scheduled for this year. And Portland City Council approved its $8.5 billion preliminary budget late last night. Now, this comes after 15 hours of discussions reviewing the 126 amendments proposed by councilors. The council approved about 24 amendments last night. They include redirecting $2 million from Portland Police to fund park maintenance, increasing fees on ride-share services like Uber and Lyft from $65 to $2, and eliminating the assistant city administrator position. The council said that they will consider more amendments on June 11th before they conduct a final vote on June 18th.
Today, I am thrilled to announce that our 2025 Grand Marshal of the Grand Floral Parade is none other than Tula 2, the Oregon Zoo's baby elephant.
Yeah, a big announcement this afternoon at the Oregon Zoo. Everyone's favorite baby elephant, Tula 2, will serve as the Grand Marshal of the Grand Floral Parade for this year's Rose Festival. Although Tula 2 will not appear in the parade herself, she will be represented on an Alaska Airlines float. The 2025 Rose Festival president says Tula 2 represents new beginnings and highlights the importance of conservation. And a fun fact, Tula 2's grandmother's brother, Packy, was honored as a Grand Marshal of the parade in 2012. It's a photo of the parade that year. Head over to Rod Hill. Rod, you said that usually they just need to be, the Grand Marshal needs to be in the parade, so just put her in a car. Like, what are we doing?
Yes.
What are we doing?
Put the elephant in a car. Let's go.
Yeah.
I understand both the former and now the current Grand Marshal, neither one did interviews with the media. That's a little bizarre,
It's
too.
unfortunate as well.
It is Portland. All right, here's a look at our visible satellite picture. There are still some traceable rain showers around, but overall we're pretty quiet and pretty dry out there. This is the visible satellite picture. It's the best snapshot to see if we have holes or clear spots in the cloud cover. So there's one up around Astoria and some clearing trying to sneak into Portland. Now I mentioned there are in fact still some showers around. If you look at this carefully, there's not much in the flat of the valley. This is mostly coast range and kind of bouncing up into the Cascades. There is a shower, though, nearing you folks in Sandy, and we still have some heavy showers out in the far southeastern Oregon at this hour as well. Okay, remember the satellite picture, that break up around Astoria? This is the camera at Gearhart by the Sea Resort, just a little bit south of Astoria, looking down at Tillamook Head and Seaside, and they have opened up some nice sun. Here is on the other side of the West Hills out in the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha, also opening up a little bit of sun. So kind of depends on where you are. 60 degrees, some breaks over downtown Portland, also 60 degrees. Again, don't be surprised if you find a traceable shower out there this afternoon. Most of the time, we're just going to be dry. High temperature, another 6 degrees, we think, about 66. We'll get into your holiday weekend forecast coming up.
Thank you, Rod. Local leaders are reacting to the shooting in Washington, D.C. that killed 2 staffers at the Israeli embassy. A suspect has been arrested and been interrogated after investigators say he chanted "Free Palestine" while in custody. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden said in a statement, "This is another example of how extremist rhetoric and anti-Semitism has deadly consequences. This violence has no place in our country." And the CEO of Jewish Federation of Greater Portland says, quote, "The safety and security of the Jewish community is our top priority, whether here or somewhere else, and we will not rest until the safety is fully restored." In an update, a bill to keep cell phones out of classrooms across Oregon will not move forward. The proposal would have required students to keep their phones off and away all day long, including during lunch, but concerns over how to enforce the policy and how to create exceptions for some students ultimately sank the bill.
When I talked to educators in my district, they were like, who's going to police this? Who's going to be in the hallways? Who's going to be at lunchtime talking about what this policy looks like? I've heard some folks were like, well, just get the pouches. Well, there is no money in the policy to have districts go out and just do that.
Governor Tina Kotek's office told KGW that she's very disappointed that the bill did not advance and is actively exploring executive action. Portland police are in the middle of a week-long mission cracking down on drug use in the Rose City. They say that their goal here is to get people into deflection. Catherine Cook has a story.
It's Wednesday afternoon, and Portland police are on a walking beat in Old Town. They see a lot of familiar faces, many scarred by drug use. Some are ready for help facing their addiction. Police are here to steer them toward it.
We have what's called the Pathway Center, where we can take people and offer them a little bit of hope, something besides jail, to try and improve and change their lives.
Central Precinct Commander Brian Hughes is heading up this week-long mission. On Monday, police focused on the Pearl District, followed by Couch Park on Tuesday. By late Wednesday, police had led at least 34 people into deflection. County health officials are grateful for that.
When somebody comes in, maybe it's not the moment they're motivated, maybe it is.
Either way, deflection program supervisor Natalie Amar says they've made a core connection, the first step in building a relationship on the way to accepting help.
The model is designed to allow people to encounter deflection multiple times so that connection to services can be there when they're ready.
Police have also arrested at least 32 people, in many cases for more than just drug use. They say some had outstanding warrants. Officers also seized guns, drugs, cash, and stolen merchandise.
So we've seen great success.
This week's focus on drug users follows a months-long effort targeting drug dealers. Hughes says over the last 10 months, they've arrested 50 alleged drug dealers, and all 50 are still in custody. Some were arrested in the Goose Hollow Stadium District. That's where police will focus their efforts on Friday, and they won't be alone.
I'm pleased to inform that the governor has agreed to send Oregon State Police bicycle officers to come and assist the Portland Police bike officers in helping to work on this problem.
It'll mark the end of just 1 week and hopefully the start of recovery for so many. But Portland's struggle with addiction at large will remain.
This problem will not end after 5 days.
That was Catherine Cook reporting. Today, police will focus their efforts on Portland's Central East Side area, again with their main goal of getting people into deflection. Coming up today on KGW and KGW Plus, a story that you will not see anywhere else. The Portland Timbers hired its first ever coach dedicated to mental performance and wellness. It's part of our ongoing series, Talk About It, our commitment to highlighting people helping break the stigma around mental health. Here's a preview.
Being a woman, having a disability, being an amputee, a cancer survivor, how do you think that impacts how the team views you?
It's a very straightforward way of explaining that I also have had a complex life and that I know pain and I know struggle.
Meet Lacey Henderson, a Paralympian and 11-time U.S. national champion in track and field. At the age of 9, she lost her right leg to a soft tissue cancer, though she didn't let that stop her. Lacey co-hosted NBC's Paralympics coverage from Paris last summer and joined the Timbers in December as her first certified mental performance consultant. So what does that mean? Well, she's focused on the team's mental well-being, both on and off the pitch. We're talking about building emotional endurance and resilience through meditation, mindfulness, mental debriefs after games, and one-on-ones. And if it feels a little bit Ted Lasso to you, well, that's exactly the point.
The potential for high performance happens when you are doing well mentally. We're not just a head floating above a body, right? They need to be connected.
Going to see that psychologist, I shouldn't have been embarrassed about. I think that is something that I now preach as a coach.
You need to see Lacey.
Yeah, todo está bien.
The KGW exclusive Talk About It Timbers airs tonight at 6 and 11 p.m. right here on KGW. Plus, we have a special with extended interviews with both Lacey Henderson and head coach Phil Neville. You can check that out tonight at 8 p.m. on our free TV app, KGW Plus.